It ain't nothing but me. Top boss, big nations. Yo, passport bro next door. Nations Village. My Dominican chef lied. She can't drive. Let's check out the debauchery in this travel tale. Now, this travel tale begins where all our other travel tales begin with, and that's a mean pregame. So, what we did in this particular situation, we was surfing IG and we befriended a young Dominican chica. We'll call her Chef Thick Thighs. And there she is in all her is and ain'ts, you know? So anywhere on the island of DR outside of Sosua and Punta Cana, you want to make sure you pregame before you touch down in that city. You know, it's no different in Santo Domingo. You want to pregame, get to know somebody, or, you know, at least a little bit about them. So we met Chef Thick Thighs through IG. We we just started replying to her stories or commenting on her stories, you know. And this was maybe about a month out from my trip, and 2 weeks after, you know, she responded, and I hit her up with, you know, with my request. I needed a chef when I hit DR. Yee, it ain't nothing but me. Hey gang, say gang, if you watching this right now, like the video, drop a comment below, share it with friends, family, and a foe, and tap that subscribe button to become a part of Nations Village. We stay going up. So she accepted our request and she met us at SDQ Airport. She told us beforehand that, you know, she could drive. This was only my second time in DR. So I rented a car for the first time, and I should have known by that look on her face when she was behind the wheel that she didn't know what the hell she was doing. But hey, it's DR. I'm on vacation. What's the worst that can happen, right? You know, at least that's what I'm thinking. But it didn't take me long to figure out, oh, this was gonna be a double dog doozy. So, like I was saying before, we befriended Chef Thick Thighs on IG 2 weeks before we landed in Santo Domingo. So, you know, in the process of pre-gaming, you know, just getting to know a little bit more about her, just building a rapport with her, you know, just developing some level of comfortability for both of us. And we can apply this method no matter what it is that we're looking for in DR. If you're looking for that chef, that tour guide, that concierge, that homie lover friend that just come through and do what it do, all those type of things, it's always gonna be best to pregame. It's just gonna make for a better experience all the way around. So during this time, she telling me, you know, that she can drive and everything is good. So, you know, I didn't have any worries. So it's a 45-minute drive from the rental car place to the Airbnb in Piantini. Like I said, this was my first time in Santo Domingo. I was watching all the Ronin, the Wandering Traveler videos. He always suggested Piantini. So I knew when I went to Santo Domingo for the first time that that's where I was going to stay. You know, Piantini is it's a nice area, very cool vibes, very relaxed, and, you know, kind of an exciting vibe. It gives you the Miami Vice appeal, like I always say. Man, we was in the car driving maybe 20 minutes before we had our first little incident. One of those mini buses, you know, that be over there in the DR. They be long and they be packed with a lot of people. And this one had the little guard bumper on the front. Man, it was trying to come out and turn, and we was going straight, and she just scraped that mud. So now I'm nervous, but I'm still chilling. So her little scrape in with the with the minibus, it scared her as well because she drove maybe another couple blocks, and she pulled over and was like, okay, yeah, you go on and take it the rest of the way, And even though this was gonna be my first time driving in Dominican Republic, I was relieved because I know that I ain't about to scrape nothing like she did. And I ain't gonna say I'm a perfect driver or whatever, but I know that I got plenty of years of experience. And based on what Chef Thick Thigh showed me, this might have been her second or third time behind the wheel. I don't know, but I know she ain't tell me the truth when she told me she could drive. So now I'm behind the wheel, I'm getting comfortable, and we make it to my Airbnb. And this Airbnb, it was an apartment, in a building. Most of the other people there are full-time residents, so it's not like a hotel or nothing. It's a apartment condo type style. Got the nice balcony. Everything was good to go in this apartment, man. I was really pleased. My first time staying in Dominican Republic, I was at a hotel. So while we check out the Fire B&B in Piantini, we gonna keep in mind that this is not the end of our driving saga with Chef Thick Thighs. One thing about Dominican chicas, you cannot tell them you gonna do something for them, or you gonna let them do something for you and not follow through with it. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a problem. Me being green to the game. I'm finding all this stuff out as I go along. Nations Village. All right, so while we in the Airbnb, everything going good. I needed a couple of supplies so that I could light up the prop. And one thing I love about Dominican Republic is that you can get anything delivered straight to your door. Anything that's at a store, or a grocery store, or a restaurant, hardware store. I don't care what it is. You can get it delivered straight to your condo door, your apartment door, the door of your house, wherever you at. They got you. All right, so my utilities come. So you know what we gonna do, Nations Village? We going out there on that balcony. We had the fire view from this B&B too. So we out on the balcony. We doing our thing, getting our mind right with the prop, focusing on what's to come. Thinking about what activities we may want to do for the time that we're there in Santo Domingo. So while I'm outside on the balcony doing that, Chef Thick Thighs started doing what she was employed to do: home cooked meals. So this is dinner time. So she went straight in the kitchen. She's got the supplies that she needed. We did make a grocery store run, the supermercado. We went to Yumbo inside of Arguro Mall. I like that little grocery store inside Oguro Mall for some reason. So now she done kind of eased my mind a little bit from the little scrape that we had earlier in the day. So we just chilling, making small talk. She whipping it up in the kitchen, doing whatever she do. I was happy to see it did look like she was experienced. Because just cause I didn't hire her because she was a professional chef or nothing. No, it's just I did know at least that much about DR going in, that hey, your US dollars, you can employ Dominican chicas to do certain things that you may need. Sometimes I need somebody to find me the prop. So hey, I may have to employ a chica to get that done. If I want to go somewhere I may not be familiar with, then I'll holler at a chica and request that she be my tour guide, show me around this, that, or the other. So that's another cool thing about DR. The chicas are they're very they're willing to do what us gringos may need while we're there to make the stay more comfortable, and they like to have a good time as well. And I must say the food came out pretty decent. Some beef, rice with peppers, and I think some beans or something like that, man. So hey, we ate dinner. Scrambled eggs. Chef Thick Thigh scrambled eggs in the morning, and then she went and put this on and suggested that we go to some restaurant on the river. Ah, man, and this is where the tomfoolery kicks in. So earlier that day, we were sitting around and kind of making jokes about how bad her driving was. She was saying how she was nervous and different little things like that. So yeah, automatically in my head after these conversations, I'm under the assumption that okay, so next time we get ready to pull off in the car somewhere, she ain't even gonna attempt to drive. I'm already comfortable with the traffic flow and everything in Santo Domingo. By this time, all it took was one time behind the wheel for me to see what was going on. You just gotta you gotta drive aggressively and cautiously at the same time in Santo Domingo. You gotta be decisive about which lanes you want to be in, what you gonna do, if you gonna pass, if you gonna slow down. And if you do that while you watching out for what other people doing on the road, man, you're gonna be cool. The worst thing is just sitting in one of those jams, during one of those times when everybody out on the road, which in Santo Domingo seems to be all day, every day. So, needless to say, like I said, you can't tell a Dominican chica that you're gonna let her do something. I had told her during pregaming that I was gonna rent the car and I wanted her to drive the car. And oh man, was Chef Thick Thighs meaning to hold her brother to it. Because this day when we get ready to go to the spot she wanted to go to, she was like, I'm driving, right? I'm driving. And I'm like, oh man, I thought we discussed this earlier. And she started saying how those was just jokes. And I told her this and I told her that. So man, after a brief conversation, some hostile negotiations, I'll call it. I kind of looked at that outfit and I don't know, man. I guess I gave in. The green in me took over. So I gave her the keys against my better judgment. I knew I was wrong. So she gets in the car. We jump in there in the car out the parking garage. And I mean, man, no sooner than we hit the street. It was a crowded street and it was cars like parked along both sides of the street. So it was a tight little area. So we come out the parking garage and we bust a right. And man, what do I see coming? A big black SUV, suburban looking truck, blacked out all the way, clean too. It had to be a up to date model, and behind that was the police. And when I tell you, man, she came so close to touching the SUV and the police truck behind it. Man, I ain't even gonna lie, man. I was over there. I was over there on the passenger side, like I had a steering wheel, man. I'm doing everything, man. I'm basically over there losing it for real, and I done made her nervous. So now basically she mad. She mad at me because I'm reacting to her terrible driving. So hey, that we needless to say we never made it to that restaurant on the river. That was a wrap. Back to the Airbnb we go. Then what sealed it up was later that night. You know, I wanted to get a drink. I had been invited out to a little bar, so you know I told her to go and jump in and ride. And she must have still been upset from earlier because man, when we get down to the car, Chef Thick Thighs had the audacity to jump in the back seat. I'm like, what? Oh, hell no. You can't do us like that, Nations Village. So needless to say, man, we gave her money for a taxi and $5 for the Caribbean tour and sent her on her way. Till the next time, family, y'all stay going up.